Hi, ParatonWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday morning, August 19th. The remnants of Tropical Storm Fred now way up to the north over upstate New York caused some strong to severe thunderstorms in much of the Mid-Atlantic region yesterday and last night, especially north of the Mason-Dixon line. Pennsylvania got hit hard all the way down into the southeastern part of the Commonwealth with some booming thunderstorms in the late evening, overnight hours, all the way down into the Philly metro region. Torrential rainfall accompanying those thunderstorms. And again, that system is now pushing north through New York State, causing some rainfall up in that part of the nation, and it will continue to push to the north and east over the next several hours. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Henry is just on the verge of becoming a hurricane, classified as a hurricane. Its maximum sustained winds now at 70 miles per hour, just under the threshold for hurricane. That is where attention will turn now over the next couple of days, and it still could turn to the northwest late in the upcoming weekend and head towards New England. All residents, coastal residents in the northeastern part of the nation have to monitor this system over the next couple of days. Let's take a look at the infrared satellite imagery loop, and we can see both systems right now. Again, the remnants of Fred all the way upstate New York right now, continuing ahead to the north and east. And again, yesterday caused some strong to severe thunderstorms all across the state of Pennsylvania, and even some farther to the south of there, moving away now. And this is Tropical Storm Henry. Again, maximum sustained winds now at 70 miles per hour, not far at all from being classified as a hurricane. It will meander for the next couple of days, but then head on up to the north. Again, there is a threat that it could hit the eastern part of New England. All residents from, let's say, Long Island to northern New England should stay alert with respect to Tropical Storm Henry. Well, here's the latest official positioning by NOAA's National Hurricane Center of these three tropical systems that we've been talking about for days. We have Fred, Henry, and Grace. Grace, first of all, a hurricane right now over the Yucatan Peninsula region of Mexico. It will weaken as it crosses over that landmass, the peninsula region, and continue on a basic western track right into the eastern part of Mexico, it looks like, over the next day or two. Meanwhile, Fred continues to move to the north and east, continues to cause some rain in and around its vicinity, and all of that now has shifted up to the northeastern part of the nation. And here is Tropical Storm Henry. Again, maximum sustained winds right now at 70 miles per hour, likely to continue meandering to the west, comes awfully close to the coast over the upcoming weekend, and may do something like this, may actually head towards the mid-Atlantic coastline for a while, and then cut back out a little bit to the north and east, and then start turning back to the north and west. Ultimately can have an impact on New England, let's say Sunday night, Monday time frame. Certainly all coastal residents along this part of the nation should stay alert and pay attention to Henry over the next 48, 72 hours or so. And if indeed it does have a direct impact on New England, it will likely come sometime Sunday night, Monday time frame, and we'll talk about a couple of the important factors involved in the ultimate path of Tropical Storm Henry. Well, first of all, the upper air height pattern, the upper air pressure pattern is an important player here, and we will walk through that now using the GFS model run from 6Z last night. All the orange you see on this particular type of map, where we're seeing 500 millibar height anomalies, represent higher heights than normal, typically associated with higher pressure than normal. And we've talked about how this time of the year, August, September time frame, if you have higher heights than normal over the southeastern part of Canada, tends to open the door for tropical systems to move from the east to the west, towards the southeast U.S., towards the Gulf of Mexico, into the Caribbean Sea. This is a reflection at 500 millibar right now of Tropical Storm Henry. This is Hurricane Grace over the Yucatan Peninsula region, and this is a main player. Now watch what happens over the next couple of days. You notice, let's go back again, early Thursday morning, notice higher heights than normal all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico, again helping to steer Grace to the west. Right here you see the height pattern tends to correlate with the wind pattern right here across the Gulf of Mexico, basically from the east to the west. Yucatan Peninsula is where Grace is located right now. It should end up over the eastern part of Mexico. But watch this kind of retreat to the north over the next 24 hours or so. And here you go. By the time we get to tomorrow morning, the reflection of higher heights than normal is gone over the western part of the Atlantic, and it kind of repositions itself with a focus over the southeastern part of Canada. Yesterday we talked about a negative NAO. That's a teleconnection index known as the North Atlantic Oscillation, and it really gives us an idea of the pressure and temperature pattern in the North Atlantic. And when it's in negative territory for several days at a time, it suggests blocking in the upper part of the atmosphere can take place over places like Greenland, Iceland, all the way down in the eastern part of Canada. Indeed, we have quite a healthy looking high pressure ridging here setting up over the southeastern part of Canada. This is Friday morning, and again, watch what happens now as we get into the upcoming weekend. You see how it tends to spread out and kind of captures, let's say, Tropical Storm Henry. That again is kind of a blocking pattern to the north, allowing for the possibility of Henry to kind of kick to the north and west at the last minute here, late in the upcoming weekend, towards the northeast U.S. coastline. Especially vulnerable the southern and eastern part of New England at this particular time. Again, this is a key player right here, the higher heights than normal. Again, it tends to kind of capture, prevents it from moving off to the east, prevents it from moving off to the west. It kind of sucks it right in there, right towards the New England coastline. This is the Sunday night time frame. Again, we would be talking about Sunday night, Monday time frame, most likely, for any possible direct impact by what is now Tropical Storm Henry. Again, it very likely will become a hurricane over the next 12 hours or so. Now, this is another important factor I want to talk about. We talked about the upper air pattern, the height pattern, height anomaly pattern, the pressure pattern in the upper part of the atmosphere as being a key to the ultimate movement of Tropical Storm Henry. Sea surface temperatures over the western Atlantic are critical as well and should be talked about here. These are actual temperatures in Celsius, not the anomalies, but the actual temperatures. The main point I want to make here is that notice the yellows and reds right in this region right here and to the south and southeast here. Very warm sea surface temperatures extend off the coast of the Carolinas out where the Gulf Stream tends to flow in this particular fashion like that. But notice as you get tucked in across the New Jersey, just off the New Jersey coastline, off of Long Island and southern part of New England, temperatures drop off quite rapidly. Let's clear this up again here. So you have kind of cooler water here, and that is good news in the sense that if anything, it could weaken this particular Tropical Storm Henry as it moves from, let's say, this particular part of the Atlantic Ocean, and then if indeed it does close in on New England, it will move over some cooler waters just off the New England coastline, off the Long Island coast. So that is something that will also be a factor over the next few days. Well, let's wrap up with a look at the surface forecast maps from the operational run of the GFS. This is kind of a broader view than compared to what we normally look at. This is most of North America here with Canada and Greenland and all of the U.S. shown right here. Right here, as we begin the day on Thursday, the remnants of Fred. Here is Hurricane Grace over the Yucatan Peninsula region of Mexico. And here is Tropical Storm Henry. Again, very close to reaching hurricane status. Now let's move forward here. Fred continues to move to the north and east. Henry slowly churning to the west. Right now the latest movement west 9 miles per hour, just kind of meandering out there. And by the way, anytime a hurricane meanders off the just off the U.S. East Coast, it's kind of an uneasy situation, let's say, because of a weak wind field. The system can kind of meander for a couple of days, and you ultimately can't guarantee where it ends up going once those winds become strong enough to cause an increased movement. Indeed, it looks like it's kind of edge to the west, then start to turn to the north. And let's push ahead here with this particular model. Now, this is the GFS model. Here it finally starts to turn to the north, too close to comfort to the Carolina coastline. I have to monitor this all the way down to the Carolinas over the next 24 to 48 hours or so. Then it starts moving to the north and west, as again we saw the upper air pattern showed kind of a capture of the higher heights than normal, higher pressure than normal over southeastern Canada. It kind of tucks it in, captures it, turns it to the north and west towards the New England coastline. You see surface high as well off to the east, off to the north, preventing this system from cutting out over the open part of the North Atlantic. Instead, decent chance that it cuts to the north and west towards Long Island or the southern part of New England or eastern New England, especially vulnerable places like Nantucket, Cape Cod, even eastern Massachusetts. Now, also keep in mind, right here you see 957 millibar. It does tend to weaken as just before it makes landfall, let's say, according to this model run, in the southern or eastern part of New England, Sunday night, Monday time frame. This is actually late Sunday afternoon, but keep in mind the last several hours before any possible landfall by this system will be over cooler and cooler water, so that will be another factor as well. But look at this. High pressure just kind of surrounding it off to the west, off to the north, off to the east. And that is why there is concern here that this system will tend to be kind of pulled back towards the coastline, moving to the north and west over the upcoming weekend. And again, Sunday, Monday is the time frame of concern for New England. But all residents along the northeast U.S. coastline should pay attention to the movement, the intensification of Henry over the next few days. One last map I want to show is a conglomerate of storm tracks by multiple models for the tropical storm Henry's path. And here it is. This is actually a collection of different computer forecast models, including a specific model for hurricanes, and it includes the UK Met right here, as well as GFS. But the bottom line is the system kind of meanders to the west for the next 24, 36, 48 hours or so, then starts to turn to the north and maybe the northeast, and then it gets captured by, again, that high pressure. There's high pressure to the west, there'll be high pressure up over southeastern Canada, high pressure to the east, and it tends to capture this. It kind of turns it back to the north and northwest, maybe later Sunday into Sunday night, and that is why this part of New England is vulnerable to getting an impact by Tropical Storm Henry. But again, remember, it will be moving over some chillier waters over those last 12 to 24 hours or so. So this is the type of track we're looking at right now, and obviously this can change over the next 1 to 2 days or so. And the time frame again for New England, maybe Long Island, would be Sunday, Monday time frame. So certainly stay tuned to Peraton Weather for some updates on Tropical Storm Henry. Fred continues to move to the north and east. Attention now shifts to the Atlantic Ocean. That's it for now. For ParatonWeather.com, I'm meteorologist